What's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. Want to talk about the Brooklyn bishop himself, Pastor Lamor Whitehead. Now, he's gotten into another situation. I've spoken about him before getting robbed. I'll link to that. I'll link that video in the description box. And now he had a situation where a woman decided that she wanted to disrupt this church and just cause a ruckus. And I'm pretty sure y'all may or may not have seen the video, but this woman is in the church. I don't know why she's there. And she decided that today was the day she was going to go in there and cause a scene. And I've told y'all this. Say whatever you want about Bishop Lamor, but you can't just be walking into that man's church acting any kind of way. Whether you like him or not, whether you think he's a buffoon, he's spewing out shiny suitism. That doesn't mean that you should just walk into this man's church and be disrespectful. There are a lot of people that I may not care for, but I'm not going to go and disrupt whatever they're doing as long as they're minding their own business. And obviously this woman was not minding her own business. Now, he was arrested for the choking when she tried to make a beeline. From what I'm hearing, they said it was for his wife. So she's having words, I guess, with his wife or someone the near left of him. And he was like, oh, no, you're not. And once again, and she actually got arrested as well. I tell y'all, these black women have no respect for black men. She's in a church, right? And again, say whatever you want to about Bishop Whitehead, but that doesn't mean you should just walk into this man's church and just act crazy. But that's how little respect these black women have for black men. They don't respect boundaries, and they don't respect black men, and they wonder why their life sucks, why their dating life is terrible, why the only men that want them are men that desperately need them for a place to stay, right? Or to help them with their child support. So this woman getting into trouble in this situation as well is the best thing, the best course of action. And I will also say this too about Bishop Whitehead. Instead of getting a building fund offering, you need a security offering. Why security isn't in that church is beyond me. Now, from what I saw behind the scenes, it doesn't look like a big church. Just from the picture that I saw, it's a bunch of women, of course, in the church, because you're not going to see no men sitting up in this dude's church. It's a bunch of heifers in the church. And the fact that he hasn't invested in good security just shows either this dude is extra comfortable or he just likes the drama. But you can't be out here getting robbed and you still haven't fixed the security problem. Now let's get into what's happening, the latest in this situation here with Bishop Whitehead. According to Complex, it says controversial Brooklyn Bishop Lamor Whitehead claims he was wrongfully arrested after he forcibly grabbed a woman during a sermon, a video of which was posted by TMZ. Prior to the incident, Whitehead appeared to encourage someone to take pictures or film the sermon. You want to come preach? Come on up here. He said in the clip, I'm going to make you famous. He can then be seen grabbing the woman in an aggressive manner. Police showed up after and booked Whitehead. Of course, when you see that clip, you see this black man grabbing this woman, you're going to say, oh, he's putting hands on a woman. We got to get him. The bishop told the New York Daily News that he was arrested and publicly embarrassed, only for all the charges to be dropped 2 hours later. Well, it's not like he doesn't have friends in the department. She came in the middle aisle and just started cussing me out, calling me all types of names, calling me all types of things, he said, noting that the woman apparently approached him in a similar manner to the man who robbed him at gunpoint earlier this year. She came back storming toward my wife and my 10-month-old baby. See what I told y'all, man, about these women. These women, see, black women don't like each other. They will team up for a little while, but they will find some way to beef with other black women. Why this woman was mad at the wife, I don't know if it's something in social media. Was she scammed out of something? We don't know. He said that he grabbed her because she went towards my wife and promptly kicked her out of the church. He also alleged that his ministers recognized the woman and her friend and described them as a wannabe up-and-coming blogger. So he's saying that these are bloggers. This was somebody that, I guess, because everybody want to be a blogger these days, but no talent. I guess they're wannabe bloggers. So he's saying that they might have done this for the clout. Who came to my church to disrupt service. If that's true that that heifer and her friend showed up just to get some attention, she deserved what she got. You deserve him grabbing you and making you leave. And 2, you deserve to be in jail, because instead of you actually doing something productive, you show up to this man's church just to be seen. And you got embarrassed. And he said he got embarrassed, but she got embarrassed as well. They made a grave mistake in arresting the bishop. They would have never did it to a rabbi. They never did it to a priest, Whitehead said in a stream on Instagram Live as seen below. But because of the color of my skin, they arrested me. Not only did they arrest me, but when they put me in the police car, they injured my wrists. Whitehead explained that when police did some research on him, he was released from his cell and charges were dropped. Meanwhile, the woman, who was identified as Tarsha Howard, has been charged with trespassing and disrupting a religious service. It's the bishop here.
They made a grave mistake in arresting the bishop. They would have never did it to a rabbi. They would have never did it to a priest. But because of the color of my skin, they arrested me. Not only did they arrest me, but when they put me in the police car, they injured my wrist. However, when they got me to the precinct, they put me in a cell. And then after an hour or so, the higher ups, once they found out who was there, came in and started to do some research or whatever they did, and all of the charges was dropped on me. But you don't get to arrest me for no reason. I'm going to protect my family. No one is going to come at my family, and no one is going to hurt my family ever again. I have to protect my family. I have to protect my church. I just want to give you guys an update. Yes, I was arrested, but I was released and all the charges were dropped, or they called it voided out, whatever they want to call it. So if I did do something, why am I not still there, right? Let's use logic. Let's use logic. And she's still there. Amen. So I just need y'all to get that understanding. I'm not scared of y'all, and I'm not scared to be in my church. And I'm going to continue to be in my church. But one of the things that you're not going to do is come inside of my church and do what you want to do. That's not going to happen. It's never going to happen.
And that's very reasonable. It's very reasonable that he would do that, and he should. He should absolutely do that.
Let's give Jesus a round of applause. Let's give Jesus a round of applause. Now let's give Jesus a round of applause. While they take pictures and they want to be on social media, take the pictures. Take the pictures. Take the pictures. Take the pictures. Take the pictures.
You see that? What are you doing, lady? You're walking into this man's church. Again, they need a security fund. They need to do a security fund to raise money for security. Why is this big old heifer running her mouth at this man's wife? Why don't you go home? You wanted to go there to cause a scene. You wanted to go there to get some attention. And that's why this happened. That's why that happened. And I'm not glorifying or supporting violence, but when you walk into somebody's home and you're disruptive, what do you think is going to happen, people? This is far from the first time Whitehead had generated headlines. The bishop was robbed during his own church ceremony earlier this year, and more recently challenged comedian D.L. Hughley to a $1 million boxing match. I don't want to hear you. I don't want to hear you don't box because your mouth is big. Let's get in the ring. He said, I'm not going to hurt you. I'm going to knock you out. In the name of Jesus, I promise. Yo, this guy is a character, man. Listen, he's a character. And that doesn't mean that he deserves this woman just barging into his service like this. There was an update. This is according to TMZ. It says law enforcement sources tell TMZ the woman was charged with trespassing and disrupting a service or a funeral. Both misdemeanors. The pastor was released with no charges. Again, I don't feel bad for this woman at all. I really don't. This woman did this to herself. You went in there looking to have issues with this man when you should have just stayed home or did something else. If you don't like him, that's on you. But when you show up there and you're acting belligerent and you're trying to go confront his wife, he had every right to remove you out of his church because you're being disruptive. He's already been in a situation where, you know, he was robbed, whether y'all think that was legit or not. That doesn't mean that you can just walk in this man's church and just act any kind of way. Doesn't matter what you think about him. If you don't like the guy, don't patronize his church. If there are women that want to go to his church, that's on them. You can't save them. So going there causing a scene is only going to make you look bad. But maybe the blogger will blog about it. You know, so let me know in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts. Like this video and share it. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'll see y'all next one.